Hey guys, in this video I wanted to go over a topic that frequently comes up in my DMs. That's kind of how most of my videos are spurred, is I get a lot of questions or I notice a theme that's going on, and that's basically, should I bulk or cut my way to my ideal physique, or should I just maintain slash recomp slash gaintain my way to my ideal physique? And this is coming out more and more now because it's coming to be fall. More people are going into thinking about putting on some muscle mass and improving their body composition in the winter months, since that's kind of how people like to do things. But anyways, this kind of comes down to a needs analysis of what matters most to you. So the whole idea behind recomposition and gaintaining is you would basically more or less eat around maintenance calories with a high protein intake and train with overloading volume, basically enough to support your training, kind of like the lean gains approach, with the whole idea that as long as your performance in the gym is going up, then you will be adding muscle mass, and then potentially you'll be able to lose body fat at the same time. And then with bulking and cutting, it's basically a cyclical up and down approach. For you have periods of weight gain, which you're usually gaining about 0.25 to 0.5% of body weight per week. And then once you kind of reach a point in body fat after you've been gaining for a while where you kind of feel uncomfortable, maybe training is getting a little bit stale or whatnot, you go on a cut to lower body fat, and hopefully the end result is you've gained some muscle mass and you have you're still lean, or if not leaner, at with more muscle on your frame. So I want to first analyze gaintaining slash recomposition and the realities of it, because I've experienced and experimented with both of these approaches, and so I have a pretty good idea of who it's best for and who it's not best for, and in what cases it works. Because recomposition for somebody who is advanced, for somebody who's more intermediate to is going to be very difficult. So if you've been doing things properly, you've been on a good program, you've been eating well, you have all of your ducks in a row, and have been doing that for a while, you're going to have a really tough time kind of just recomping and eating around maintenance and just being like, oh, well, if I'm just training and my training is good, and therefore if I'm applying some regressive overload, then I'll add all of this muscle. The biggest problem with this approach is that if you do gaintain slash recomp, usually you're not going to really gain that much body weight, if any. And more or less what I found is that you basically recomp with your current body weight. So what that means is that you could gain some muscle and lose some fat, but that's only to a certain point of body composition. Once you get to the point where you're super lean, or you're, let's say you're around like 10% body fat, and you're really not going to have a very successful time recomping, just because you're not going to see very big changes. So if you want to make drastic changes in muscle mass and weight gain, weight gain has to be part of the picture. So if you want to have more things, how this works is you kind of need to gain weight. Muscle has weight. It baffles my mind when I hear people say, I want to get bigger, but they don't want to, but they're like resistant to the idea of gaining weight. The whole idea is that if you're 145 pounds and 6 feet tall, you need to gain weight. There is no amount of recomping that will get you jacked. Like, if you want to just enjoy training and just have fun in the gym, do this for overall health and wellness, you don't really care about getting super jacked or very strong, you just lift because you like to lift, then you don't need to go on bulks and cuts. In fact, I would recommend against it. It's just just eat and have fun, enjoy the frozen yogurt after the gym and stuff like that. But I don't recommend that for most people who want more. The only person I would really recommend for the recomposition slash gaintain approach is somebody who is currently happy with their physique. They don't really want that much more, or if they're just a rampant, a brand new beginner, because basically you can touch weights or walk into a gym, anything works as long as you have some like really, like you don't have to do that much. It works. Just eat. I found that with bulking and cutting, though, that's a much better way to actually get to your goal. Now, the biggest thing that people get concerned about with bulking and cutting is fat accumulation, because it is something that will happen if you do eat in a calorie surplus for an extended period of time. Now, this will depend on your genetics, because some people, when you put them in a surplus, they'll gain mostly muscle and very little fat. Some people, they'll kind of just gain mostly fat and not a ton of muscle. It's really just dependent upon your genetics. But my best approach for most people is to gain 0.25 to 0.5% of body weight per week for a period of about 3 or 4 months, and then mini cut or diet down, extended off of that period of gaining, and then kind of reanalyze yourself after that. And the reason why I recommend this is because it prevents wheel spinning, and you're going to be able to actually get the most out of training and create the best conditions for muscle growth and strength gain and long-term physique improvement. I also think it's important to understand that going on a moderate calorie surplus you will not get fat with that. You will gain some body fat, you will get fatter, but it's not going to be like you're getting fat. So I think that we have this thing in like this notion that anything above 12% in the fitness industry is like fat, because we're used to seeing like 8 to 12% body fat range, which is very lean. But the reality is that that's not exactly the best approach for some people. Some people just don't feel very good that lean, and they see better gains around that 15% range, or even higher. So my best recommendation in terms of bulking and cutting is do periods of weight gain, limit it to 5 to 10% of body weight, and then cut after that. Slowly gain weight over time, eat in an intentional surplus, do high volumes of training during that time, and then when it's time to cut down again, then you can go into a deficit where you're losing about 0.5 to 1% of body weight per week, and the fat will come off very fast. Really, if we're looking at this rationally, let's say you gain 10 pounds of body weight. Let's say about half of that is muscle, half of that is fat. 5 pounds of body fat is literally like a 3-week aggressive diet off. It's not hard to lose body fat as long as you know what you're doing, you're training properly, and you're eating enough protein. Gaining muscle takes time, and it's an investment. I think that this really just requires a long-term vision for most people, and a long-term reality check. If you want to actually be jacked, you need to gain weight. You need to grow. You're not going to be jacked at 150 pounds, 6 feet tall. You need to gain body weight. Muscle has weight. And you'll still look good if you're doing this right. And I think that if you can buy into a long-term goal, have a long-term vision, and if you're more focused on the long-term where you want to be, that is really key in all of this decision. Because if you're happy with where you're at, you don't really want that much more out of your training, or you don't really have massive physique goals, then taking a more relaxed Gaintaining, I'm going to eat around maintenance and just see what happens approach is okay. But for people that really want more and they want to make sure that they're maximizing progress or seeing significant changes year to year, you need to have this pulsatility. That's just what I've found works best. It's what seems to work best and if you look at every single high level athlete, bodybuilder, power lifter, that's what they do. This pulsatility and weight gain and weight loss is how they get big. And I know that lots of people in the fitness industry, primarily Greg Doucette right now, promote the Gaintain. What Greg's basically saying is you should gain weight slowly over time, and then once you you're kind of like, okay, my abs are starting to get kind of blurry when I flex them in the mirror, then yeah, maybe it's time to cut down. But Greg is still a big dude. He's 195 pounds, 5'6" or something, like a manlet. So that's a big dude, and he gained weight to get to that point, and he even says that. So just to summarize, if you're happy with your current body size, you are okay, and you don't really want to get that much bigger, then yes, Gaintain, eat around maintenance, try the recomp approach, enjoy life, have fun, have good training, feel good. Then just maintain, just recomp. There's nothing wrong with that. However, if you want more, if you want to maximize your physique progress, your strength progress, you should probably do a strategic bulks and cuts. I recommend gaining about 0.25 to 0.5% of body weight per week. Gain about 5 to 10% of total body weight during your gaining phases, and then go on a cut after that to strip off whatever body fat is left. And then just rinse and repeat. That's how this happens. That's how you get jacked. My secret's out. But anyways, hope this video was helpful. If you guys are interested in coaching, links are down below. I have some openings right now, and as well, I am going to be unveiling a really awesome option for just for just training coaching. Nutrition coaching is an option too right now. I've been working on app updates for my new training app. And basically I'll be able to do one-on-one training coaching for only like $100 a month, which is insane. You'll get me up overseeing your entire programming, your progression. I'll update your program every single month. You'll get weekly feedback from me on your form videos and technique, and you can tell me how you like the training week, and everything's completely personalized. So I'm really excited to be dropping that soon. But anyways, follow me on Instagram. Please like and subscribe. It helps me out a lot. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later.